Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast at Tiffany's. I am your hostess, Tiffany Almazan, and today it's Sunday, 10 a.m., and here I am, and here you are. So whether you are watching live or on the replay, thank you for joining me. I am happy to be coming to you today with another great list of topics to be sharing with you about. So, can you believe last week, this episode, I was coming to you live from Canmore, Alberta, Canada. That trip was just out of this world. Okay, so, whew, that was amazing. Need to do more trips like that. And here's my souvenir t-shirt. Check it out. Lake Louise, butterflies. Oh my gosh, isn't that super cute? I thought it was super cute. So I had to wear my headband to go along with it. Keep the red thing going with a little pop color, right? Self-Care Sunday, got my patches on. What are you doing for yourself today? It is the month of love, and not the manufactured love, the real kind and all kinds, because I've called this the month of love, and that's what I'm focusing on this month. So, love for self is what you eat too. So what am I eating today? Let's dive right in. I'll share with you. I even put it in a glass container so you could see. Wasn't that smart of me? Could also be because I didn't have any clean bowls to put it in. Look at this. Okay, so this has been sitting in the dehydrator for a little bit just to warm it up. But you could have it cold too. And you could also warm it on the stovetop if you don't have a dehydrator. But just be really careful because this is almond milk that's in here, and almond milk doesn't like to boil. It just really doesn't, okay? So don't do that. But this is a combination of buckwheats and oat groats. Really yummy stuff for you. Buckwheat is one of the very few things that is a complete protein. Has all of the essential amino acids in it. There's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 things. Very few things that you can get that have complete protein in them. And then the oat groats is what oatmeal is before it gets processed and turns into old-fashioned oats and get ground up and all that. So both of those were raw. Buckwheats got soaked because they're a little slimy. They're raw. But you soak them first a little bit and they will get slimy and you have to rinse them several times, and then you can dry them out and toast them. You can toast them in the oven too, on the stovetop even. I did in the dehydrator. The oat groats, you can also blend up if you want more of a porridgey texture. They do need to soak a little bit. It kind of softens them. They have a really nice chewy texture as they are like this. I love them this way personally. And all else I have in here is homemade almond milk, but sweetened with a little bit of dates, vanilla, and raisins. Can you see all my raisins? I love raisins, and I figure if you're gonna have raisins in something, it should be enough that it's in every single bite you get at least like 2 or 3 raisins. And look at this bite, man. Look at all those raisins. It's yummy. So this is gonna be breakfast once I'm done, because once I start, I'm not gonna finish. I'm not gonna stop. I can't just take one bite, right? So what I will add to this is some ground up flax seeds. I'm gonna throw a few chia seeds in here. I'm even gonna put some cinnamon and nutmeg, and I'm gonna slice up a banana and put a banana in here too. You could do berries too. You could pull frozen stuff out of your freezer, throw that in as well. But this is my version of cereal that is super yummy and satisfying. And I mean, seriously, it's so tasty. And it's so warm right now. It's so lovely, but it's not hot, and it's still raw and living and amazing for you. And get this, here's a tip. For all you dehydrator owners out there, you can put, 118 degrees is when you start to lose all the nutrients in your food, okay? When it's heated 818 and above, things start to die, okay? So dehydrator usually keep it like between 95 and 110. You can push it to 115 sometimes, but here's the secret. You can put it up to say like 140. If you're doing nuts and you wanna, you're like dehydrating your nuts to have the roasted nuts, put it in at 140 degrees for the first hour. It's not gonna elevate, up to 118 degrees in the nut itself. It takes time to build up that heat, right? So just set a reminder to turn it off in an hour, okay? So my live studio audience has joined me today. Thank you for watching. Hello. Keep the hearts coming because those are so cool. They match. They match my headband, right? Isn't that awesome? So you can start it out with a kickstart of higher heat. So I actually did that with these, but I only put them at 115 for a little bit. And actually it's really good too for the raisins because now they're even plumper. They're not just totally dry. So I'm gonna throw this back in so that it stays warm. Stand by. Okay. Oh, on, patches on, doing good. Okay, oops, I need to press them on. Looking good. Oh yeah. You ready for your collagen set live studio audience? All we gotta do is come on camera right here. We can be showing everybody. Be totally cool. Okay, so that was breakfast. Second thing up for you today is, okay, I made that almond milk, and what you get left over from almond milk is pulp. When you strain out the juice, your milk, you're left with this pulp. This is the dried version of it. I just kind of took it, crumbled it up a little bit, put it in the dehydrator, and dried it, so it's really light and airy right now. But you get this, so don't throw this away. This is not junk, okay? This is yummy stuff. You can make some really great recipes with it. You can make like freezer fudge with this almond pulp. It's really good. So what I do with it is I just lay it out, crumble it up, lay it out on a dehydrator tray, toast it for a little bit, and then I grind it up in my Magic Bullet, the one that I use for the coffee grinder. You know, I just put it in a little container and I grind it up, and then it turns into this nice little powder. Then it becomes flour. You can, oops, I'm making a mess. You can use this flour in recipes as a replacement, okay? So I just dump it all into this jar and I just collect almond pulp. And when I'm ready for recipes, now I've got some on hand and I'm getting multiple uses out of the nut, which is why I do like almond milk. Cashew milk, you don't need to strain. It just blends up so smooth, but almond milk, you get leftovers. Okay, and the reason I'm telling you that is to share this. Many people believe that nuts are not good for dogs or cats. Just pets in general are not good for them. They can't digest them, right? True to a certain extent, their digestive system is very different than ours, but usually what the problem is that the same reason why we have problems digesting nuts is because they're coated in an anti-nutrient, right? It's an enzyme, digestive enzyme inhibitor, which deters pests, right? And it lets them grow and become what they are, and to halt the growth process within the nut itself. So once you've soaked them, raw nuts you've soaked in water, it releases those anti-nutrients into the water. Now you rinse the water off, and now you've got an amazing nut that is digestible by our bodies. One additional step that's even better for your pets, because their digestive system works a little different than ours, is if you mash it, grind it, crunch it up, put it in a food processor, add it to their kibble, just kind of throw it in, mix it up. Another tip for you is this right here, this almond pulp. They love it. You can save it like this. You've dried it out, even if you just cooked it in an oven, okay? Because you don't have a dehydrator, that's fine. It's still great, okay? It's still healthy. They can still digest it. And you give them these pieces like this, it's already broken down. It's like pulp, right? Just crunchy pulp, already broken down. You can give it to them fresh when you're done making your milk. Just, monitor how much you're giving them for their size and all. They love it. It's a great treat. Cool to keep these on hand, have little, bits you can give them. This is a great treat. But dogs can have cashews, peanuts, raw walnuts, raw cashews, all of those almonds they can have, but they need to be raw, soaked, and best, if you give them one or two at a time, fine, but they're not really going to break down the whole nut. So either chop them up, grind them up, give them your pulp, and it's an amazing nutritious treat for them. And you're keeping them healthy. They're not getting junk food. So there you have it. Healthy treat for your dogs. Another one for you is apple skins. If you are making dehydrated apple slices, it's much better when you peel them, even if they're organic. You just, dehydrated apples just taste better without that skin on them. The texture and all is just different. So save those apple skins, put them in the dehydrator as well. And now those become another treat for your dogs. They love apple skins, and they're a crunchy little treat for them. It's amazing, and they just sit there just in an open container in the pantry for them, and after they eat, they get an apple. Perfect, so there's two for you. 2 tips on healthy snacks. Okay, third thing. What was my third thing today? Oh, they're sitting right here. How could I forget? Seedlings, whoa. Wipe out. There's my basil. Oh my gosh, look at that basil. Looks amazing, doesn't it? Okay, so I just happened to stumble onto Star Nursery looking for something else yesterday, and they had sign up saying President's Day, Veggie Seedlings arrive. And I'm like, or President's Day weekend. And I'm like, but that's this weekend, right? I'm like, no, they're not here already, are they? They were. And oh my gosh, what a selection they had too. Hey, what do you think? Better? Better. Okay, so I picked some up. Okay, I got thyme. This is a woolly thyme. This one's gonna be great too. I got it because it's gonna hang over the bricks and it's gonna create some little character in my garden, okay? It's edible too, it's thyme, it's a version of thyme, but this one stays very low to the ground. I got some fragrant rosemary. Also provides really good flowers and takes well to being crushed. So if you wanted to use it between paver stones and stuff, you can walk on it a bit as well. Probably not as much as my dogs would walk on it, I don't know, but oh, and then rosemary. I got some rosemary. This is gonna be your trailing rosemary, so it's also gonna fall over the side too, which is really cool. And I'm just showing you these because I just love looking at them, and maybe you wanna see what I got too, so. I do have a point for this. I'm gonna tell you when you should plant these. These are Anaheim Peppers. And I loved my Anaheim Peppers that I grew last year. I only had one plant, so this year I'm like, I'm doing more. Really good, you can, they're not super hot and you can dehydrate them too. You can even just like let them dry on their own and you can grind them up, turn them into powder. I got a new mint. Mojito mint. Look at how big this mint is. And it's so bright and green. Got mint. I got some more of the woolly thyme. Oh yeah. This one, the millionaire eggplant. I got all the organic stuff too, right? So, okay, this one is gonna look, if you can see in the picture, this is another little random tip for you. I'm full of tips today, aren't I? I mean, come on now. This is really cool, right guys? Okay. See how long and skinny they are? Especially living here in Las Vegas, this is a great idea of a variety to plant. It has, does it say on here, it matures in 60 days. Okay, if you get the Black Beauty eggplant, it takes over 70 days. I think it's like 75, 79 days to maturity. That's way too long. It's just way too long to get the plant, and it takes so much for the plant to produce that, to get this bigger, eggplant and all. It's like, no, you need these smaller ones, less work for the plant, you can harvest more, and it's much quicker. So yay, hooray. These are awesome. Eggplants do love the heat as well, so even in Las Vegas, they were cranking it out all summer long. I'm gonna do some more. This is my first one, but I have some seeds. I wanna try and grow some seeds for my eggplant as well. You saw my first basil plant. I'm kind of waiting on that because basil doesn't do very well in the house, for me anyway, and yeah, I don't wanna plant them all right now, so I only got one. Beans. Beans are fun to grow, and oh my gosh, they grow really well. I got Bush Lake beans. These Blue Lake bush beans. These are awesome. So look, not only did I get a 6-pack, but look how many are in each of these things here. These are individual plants, y'all. It's because when you plant a seed, and you plant your seeds, you don't just plant one seed in a spot, you plant 2 or 3, because odds are 1 or more is not gonna sprout, and then you thin them out. Well, these didn't get thinned out, right? I don't think they bother doing that, right? So these are actually individual plants. You can gently separate them if you want, spread them out in your garden. These are gonna be amazing. Okay, so that's my first haul of what I got. So the tip is, I didn't even get tomatoes, guys. You should have seen all the tomatoes that were there, because I'm gonna get my tomatoes a little bit later. I've got the tomato lady here in town who's got some seedlings that are being grown right now, so I'm just waiting for her to be ready to sell those. And then also Quail Hollow Farm up in Overton, hour north of here, they have tomato seedlings as well. So I'm gonna, ooh, I got dirt all on me here now. I'm gonna be checking on the dates for that a little bit later in the year. And here's why. Tomato plants, you do not want to plant outdoors until the evening temperatures are consistently above 50 degrees. Anything below that is not going to kill the tomato necessarily, but it's not going to grow. It's not going to produce, and you're better off keeping it inside. The tomato will grow indoors. I mean, it'll stay in its pot, you know, and if you get it now, you might even want to consider transplanting it into a bigger pot, give it space, and just keep it in the house. Keep it by some light. Like right now in Las Vegas, the nights are still cold. They're not over 50 degrees at night. Even though my nectarine tree is blooming, it's not ready yet, okay? And then we also have the crazy spring winds that are coming. You plant out one of these little baby things, you plant a tomato, crazy wind comes through, it's gonna knock it over and break it, and it won't come back. And why do that to it? Poor thing, right? So you're gonna wanna stake them as well when you put the little guys in too. Like rosemary, you don't have to worry about. I will stake this Anaheim pepper to basil. Depends on how tall the branches are. That one's kind of a little bit tall. Might need to be braced a little bit while they're developing their roots and getting stronger protection, stronger root system and stems, and getting bigger in general. So rule of thumb for tomatoes, over 50 degrees. You can kind of apply that to a lot of these here as well. Rosemary, you could put out right now. Bush like beans, probably be okay too. Thyme, be okay. At least the temperatures that it is right now in Las Vegas, these would be okay. Depending on where you're at, if you're still at freezing temperatures, I wouldn't put these out. That you definitely still be in the cold season. So you'd be doing more of the kale and the broccolis and the cauliflowers that you could put out. So there you have it. Hang on to your seedlings for a bit. These babies are gonna stay in the house for a bit, and they're gonna be watered, and they will go out during the day for some sunlight. So you guys, when you buy these plants, even if it were 80 degrees outside right now and it's perfect weather to plant tomatoes, you don't buy from the nursery and then immediately put out in your yard, because you see where you bought them? They were in a greenhouse, okay? They've been protected their entire life. They were raised in a greenhouse. Now they're still in a greenhouse. Now you bring them home and you put them outside and you're like, what? I'm not ready. They're not ready for the sun. That intense, that long of sun, they're not protected for it. They're very fragile leaves. They're not hardened yet. They're not used to the shift in the weather at night. So you need to harden them off, which just means, depending on how the plant goes, you put them out for a couple hours a day, you bring them in. You put them out again for longer. You see they start to wilt or something, well, yeah, okay, they're not ready. They need more water, and or they're just not ready. So back it up a bit, take it a little bit slower. You know, do that over a period of, you know, at least 3, 4, 5 days. You know, I'd probably say, depending on how baby they are or what your weather is like, maybe a week or even 2 weeks, you could be hardening off your plants to give them the best shot, because, you know, that what they call it, that transplant shock, it's not necessarily because you transplanted them, it's because where you put them. I mean, they weren't ready to be outside yet. And they're just like, what? So of course they go into shock. But if you've hardened them off, now you're gonna plant them and they're gonna be like, yes, I'm ready. Give me some nutrients. So you want that to be what your plants feel when you put them outside. So buy them now, because they've got the best selection at Star Nursery while the fresh crop is in. Go buy them, but just be prepared to hang on to them for a few weeks, really. You gotta watch the weather for sure. Because what's gonna happen to a lot of people, and I don't want this to happen to you. They're running out this weekend, they get all inspired, they buy all these seedlings like I have here, and they go out and they plant them this weekend. They've got extra time, they're off work on Monday, so now they have time to spend in their yard. They go plant everything, and it's gonna die. Then the winds are gonna come in and wipe everything out. Then it's gonna get another really cold night. I mean, our last chance of frost is mid-March. It's like, what, March 12th or 13th or something like that. We could still have frost. And you put your seedlings out? No, you don't want to do that yet. And so it's great that they're here. I love that we get stuff before May, right? So we can get things going in the ground and all, but it's still a little bit too early to plant a good chunk of these gentle plants that haven't been hardened off and the weather's not quite ready for them yet. So you want to sit on them, keep them going. Like I said, keep putting them outside, and don't be like those other people who haven't watched this episode and haven't learned to not plant their veggies yet. They're going to go plant them and they're going to die, and then they're going to go back to Star Nursery for another round and do it all over again, and they're not going to understand what happened. So now you guys know I'm helping you, I'm saving you money, time, effort, all that, giving you a good start with your veggies, and showing your plants some love, right? It's the month of love. We got to show everybody some love. It's only fair, right? And I just can't wait to have this baby growing again. Oh my gosh. And this is only one variety. So this is the large leaf Italian. Nufar? I don't know. I've never seen that part before, but I like the large leaf, really sweet ones. And I'm gonna be, the Thai variety did really amazing here last year. It was awesome. I even had a lavender variety that was really good. Basil just killed it last year. So I'm planting several plants because I want pesto all summer long. So there you have it, you guys. I hope this was I'm trying to say entertaining and enjoyable, and I kind of put them together. So I hope that this episode was both of those for you. And thank you for your time watching. If you have questions, please comment. I'll check back with you on them later. So that was today. Next week, I'll be back Sunday, 10 a.m. regular time, same channel right here. And we're gonna be talking about another couple fun things. Of course, food related too, revolving around joy and wellness, because that's what this place is here for you, to take that time away from the craziness of the world, have some fun, learn a few things, and set yourself up for a great day. So here's to traveling. I had such a blast in Canada. So see you all next week. Have a wonderful day and do some self-care. What are you gonna do for yourself today? Share it, I wanna know.